guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane and makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I'm bringing you my May update for the Pile of Shame project pan. So if you want to see my thoughts, feelings, opinions, and the score I give the Pat McGrath Eternal Eden Quad, then let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, we are going to get into the look first, obviously. So this is, as you saw in the intro, the Pat McGrath Divine Rose Luxe Quad in Eternal Eden, which looks like this. So what I'm thinking is all over the crease, deepen out the crease, all over the lid, inner corner. That is what I'm thinking. So this is my Julep Shadow Stick in Clay Matte. Then I'm just going to buff out. And we will see how we feel about this palette. Now, I have used three other Pat McGrath palettes. And what I've found so far from other Pat McGrath palettes I've used is that I don't really love her mattes. I find them to be a bit patchy, a bit just not my favorite. So, we'll see if this is different. Let's see. Ooh, that is a pretty color, though. Ooh, that is very pretty. Okay. It might make me eat my words, because this is going on beautifully, wonderfully, easy, nice, simple, elegant. Like, wow. Holy moly. Okay. Let's see, what's the other shade look like? They are very powdery shades. I do wish this other shade had just a little more depth, but it's doing what it needs to do. So, I'm not too mad. It is pretty. And these are the kind of pinks that I go for, the more like dusty mauve instead of like pink. Oh, I like that. Go back into the other pink, just okay. Didn't need either of those. So I'm going to take a little bit of the darker shade. Buff it out. With the brighter pink. And then next, glitter glue. Now we gotta see what the shimmers are all about, because that's where Pat McGrath really shines, always, is in the shimmers. Give that a second. So let's see. Ooh, it's darker than I thought. That's very pretty. And then So I'm gonna do like 2/3 of the eye with this shade. I'm thinking. Leave a little room. For the other color. That is a really pretty shade though. I wish it was a little brighter. Like that looks pretty bright in the pan and it's quite dark on the eye. But it's still a really pretty shade. It's just darker than I anticipated. And then this inner corner shade. That is almost like a satin. I might end up adding a single shadow to this look because it's dark. And I'm just not in love with the look. But I'm going to finagle some things, choose a lip, eyeliner, mascara, figure it out, and I will come back so we can discuss the palette in its entirety and go from there. It'll be just a second for you guys. All right, and we're back. So the only thing I added to the eye look was this loose shadow on my inner corner just to make it pop a little bit more and make it a little more pink. This is from Haunting Hues Cosmetics, and it's their loose shadow in Persephone. So, but otherwise, everything else is just the eyeshadow, so we can talk about it. I actually am surprised by this because I actually like the mattes more than the shimmers. The mattes performed beautifully. I think that they were really great. I like the tones. Very nice. This shimmer, it's a satin at best. The color on it is pretty, but there's like no shine. And like I said, it's a satin. This shimmer, it's so dark. If it was this actual color on the eye, it'd be gorgeous, but it's not. So for a score, for Color Story, I gave it a 3. It's fine. It's kind of inspiring because I do like the color story overall. It's pretty. It's the kind of pinks that I enjoy. For Versatility, I gave it a 1 because it's not versatile. You're gonna get one look out of this. Like, unless you're just pulling one matte and one shimmer or satin, and even then, you're still realistically gonna get the same kind of look. Quads are not versatile, in my opinion. I do not really like quads, if that gives you any hint on what's happening to this palette. For quality, I did give it a 5. Because even though I don't like the tone of this shimmer, and I don't like a satin, quality-wise, it's great. This is probably one of the best quality Pat McGrath palettes I've used. It's not for me. So for my personal ranking, I'm giving it a 3 because it is in the middle. It's 100% in the middle. Like I said, if this wasn't a satin and was an actual shimmer, and this was lighter like it is in the pan, I'd actually really, really enjoy this. But there's no point in me keeping it for the 2 mattes. I don't see that that's worth it. So it did get a 12 out of 20, which we have to declutter. Anything that gets a 13 out of 20 or less is an automatic declutter. But I want to declutter this regardless, but we have to, based on the rules. But yeah. So the Pat McGrath Divine Rose Luxe Quad in Eternal Eden is getting decluttered today. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me, and that's okay. But you can see on the screen what we will be rolling in, which I'm very excited for. Because I literally wanted to pull this into a project ASAP anyway. So it is the Natasha Denona Love Face Palette. So, here, I'll flip this up. This is what it looks like. So we get a highlighter and a blush, and then the 5 eyeshadows. Obviously, for this project, we're really only focusing on the shadows, but I guarantee you, when I do my look for this palette, I'll just use these cream products as well, because I want to try them out on the face. So we have the cream blush, which I swear there's so many different formulas for Natasha Denona on whether or not I like them, but I like the tone of this cream blush. So we'll see. And then we have Dream Glow, which is the highlighter, which looks absolutely stunning. And then we have Esme, Juliet, and Aiko. So they're popping up much lighter in swatch. I do prefer when it's 2 shimmers to 3 mattes in the 5 pans, but that's okay. Then we have Affinity and Giddy. That Giddy shade feels a little out of place, but could make a very pretty look. I think the shimmer looks gorgeous. And I'm very excited to get some use on this because, or at least get my feelings on it. Because like I said, I was wanting to pull it into a project soon anyway to get my feelings on it. So very, very excited, but rip the Pat McGrath palette. I've had it for a hot second. I got it through Ipsy as an add-on, I think. Or maybe I got it through BoxyCharm and it came like in my box. Either way. But yep, that's going to go, and that is a-okay. But otherwise, that is going to do it for this month's Pile of Shame update. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.